Well, I mean, kind of been a little bit just interesting week. Lots of things going on. Well, not really, but some things, some really interesting crap we're going to talk about because you know what? It needs to be talked about. 100%. We're going to talk about it. This is DA Wrestling, Canadian YouTube guy, Andrew from DA. Let's do this. Okay, hey, welcome to the show here. Right? Got some stuff we got to talk about here. Got personal opinions on things too. Because guess what? That's the whole point of this. Some people like it, some people don't. Hey, you know what? It's a matter of personal opinion. It makes it kind of funny at times too. But hey, before I get started and move on to all the fun things we're going to talk about there, right? Make sure you like, share, subscribe down below there. It's a small click for you, big click for us. I know it's a really, really like sometimes it's a little hard just to move down there, just say subscribe. But you know what though? Hey, just go ahead over, just subscribe on there. Right? Small click for you, big click for us. We appreciate it. We thank you very much. But let's move on though. All right. So, first story we're going to talk about today. You saw the headlines there, probably. Maybe not, maybe no. Who knows? There's a mixed match tag team match going on at WrestlePalooza. And it's what we all thought was going to happen, okay? It's going to be CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I find it very hard sometimes to believe that these guys like don't get along, but sure, let's just go that way. All right. Anyway, it came about when AJ Lee came onto Raw, started talking about her and her promo. Now, granted, her promo, because I didn't talk about stuff about Raw this week, right? Was very, very focused towards people's mental health. You know, and it was great because people cheered therapy. I know, right? Most people would never cheer therapy, but talking about it, which led to Becky Lynch coming out, who was still physically very angry about Friday, because AJ Lee also came out on Monday Night Raw with the IC title. Becky was very angry about this, right? You know, AJ Lee being her comedic self as she is, because she was actually quite comical, right? Said, "Oh, that's right. I had this thing around my wrist." Kind of weird, dude. Like, I was like, it's hard to like just put on clothes for some odd reason, or some along those lines. So, which led eventually to Seth Rollins coming out to try to defend the honor of his wife. He stated that CM Punk is also standing behind his wife. Look, they're both standing behind their wives. So, it's true, right? Eventually Seth Rollins says, "Just give me back the belt, be fine. Try to be the manly man here, get his belt back from Becky Lynch because she seems to be a very angry ginger." Right? CM Punk ends up coming up behind Becky Lynch, startles Becky, goes inside the ring, almost GTS's Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins gets out of the ring. Says, "Tag team match. My wife, me and my wife against you and your wife at WrestlePalooza." So, we're going to have that match coming up at WrestlePalooza. Now, that being said, does anybody think CM Punk and AJ are going to win? I personally think so. Which I think that will lead to maybe, quite possibly, call me crazy here, you mentioned on the last week's show, that AJ Lee might get a title shot for the IC title. You think AJ Lee would win that? Comment down below if you think it's AJ Lee would win that. Comment down below as much as you guys want. Is it possible that AJ Lee could become the next IC champ? I mean, it makes sense almost. I mean, I didn't even see AJ Lee coming. I mean, we all saw AJ Lee coming back, but I didn't really think about this possibility that AJ Lee becoming an IC champion. Nobody did, really. Let's be honest. Whoever says they did is probably lying. But, you know, her coming back, and then a nostalgia thing, especially even on SmackDown too, where she's like, "I'm AJ Lee. I'm your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler." It was good, right? But AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch in a one-on-one match sounds like a really intriguing thing there. Now we still don't know how long AJ Lee's gonna be back for, right? She did sign a contract. There was footage of her signing a contract. How long that contract is, I haven't really heard the details yet of it. I'm sure it's out somewhere. I haven't really looked hard enough though, but I'm sure I'll find it at some point, right? But hey, AJ Lee versus CM Punk at WrestlePalooza. AJ Lee, sorry, and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch at WrestlePalooza. Sounds like it'll be a very fun match. Probably better than the last time they did a Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus another married couple match. Looking at you, Miz and Maurice. Right? So, we're going to find out. Right? And you know what? If we were happy to get Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for an IC title match, sure, why not? I think that'd be a lot of fun too. All right. Now, big news coming out also, I think it was on Wednesday, was the prospect of WWE. Now, the rumors are flying really rampant. They say there was smoke, there might be fire, according to Sean Ross Sapp, that WrestleMania might not be held in the U.S. for WrestleMania 43, I believe it is. They're saying it might be held in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, like you said, look, they should just say outside North America. I can't remember if they've said that ever, but it's outside North America. It's not like WrestleMania has never been outside the U.S., but outside North America. Now, when people first thought this, like the inkling for Saudi Arabia possibly being there was like, it's a possibility. I mean, they did the greatest Royal Rumble ever. Wasn't that great? But when we think about international, WrestleMania, everybody thought automatically England, maybe France, right? The idea of Saudi Arabia was there, but due to obviously, let's be honest here, certain rights. Now, yes, I know what you're saying there, Andrew. You'll say, well, Andrew, they allow women on. Yes, I understand they allow women on the show, but not exactly to wear their stuff they would usually wear. That's pretty fair to say, right? So, is it possible they're going to do this Saudi Arabia thing? I guess. Or is it possible they're going to do, say, 2 WrestleManias? They do like a North American one. Then they do an international WrestleMania, which would be just like a WrestleMania, kind of like part deux. Part two. But it'd be like 6 months later. Almost like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Or maybe John Wick 1 and John Wick 2. You know what I mean? Or, Star Wars, Phantom Menace, skip over Clone Wars, go to Revenge of the Sith. You know what I mean? There's a little gap there, right? You'd be like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, WrestleMania 2. Right? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not opposed to the idea of a WrestleMania, right? But I don't think would they go 2 nights though, or would they try to do the whole simulcast thing like they did at WrestleMania 2? When Vince tried to do one in, I think it was New York, Chicago, and then LA. If I'm correct, that's what it was. If I'm correct, that's what it was. Where they do like WrestleMania Night 1 live from Saudi Arabia, WrestleMania Night 2 live from Vegas, or live from New York, or live from It's Saturday Night. You know what I mean? Is it possible to do this? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. It's plausible. Well, find out more as the days go by and probably weeks go by. All right, let's talk about some really injury stuff going on here. So you're probably wondering why hasn't we seen Stephanie VAQUER for a past while? Like, what is going on? She says my first love is wrestling, and then all of a sudden she's gone. Well, there's some news about this. Apparently, Stephanie VAQUER has been having a little bit of an injury problem. Right? She had a little bit of an injury. Doesn't sound like that's too severe, but a little enough to keep her out of the ring for a bit. but she is still scheduled to take on um, Io Sky for the title at WrestlePalooza. Still think it's safe for here to win that one, right? So, Cena injury plus the fact she was on NXT this week, got a little bit physical. Looks like she's probably a little bit a lot better than she was. So, look, thank God, because I was getting worried there for a second, right? So we're gonna see Stephanie McKeer at WrestlePalooza, which is great. Hopefully, it looks like the injury wasn't that bad. Hopefully, it just aggravated the show. We're good. But the next one, though. So did anybody watch? I think it was All In. All In. Warlow returned, right? Remember, I kind of mentioned this, right, on a past show. I think I've seen Warlow since then, right? It was like, what the hell had happened? Turns out Wardlow, in that match, tore his pec. He's gone now for the next, let's say, year. Now, poor guy. Feel bad for Wardlow. Jeez, like he's had like a stop-start career like for the past like couple of years now. And it's been getting really bad. It's almost like maybe he's just hang it up. But I'm not going to say that too much though, because I want to say it too loud here. I don't need Wardlow trying to call me here and say, "Why are you telling me you're going to end my career?" Because you're constantly bloody hurt. Sometimes injuries tell the whole tale of who you are. But anyway, Warlow's out next for next while. He has a torn pec. It's very shocking. It's very sad, shocking too, because Warlow looked great coming back. It was great to see him again. Unfortunately, this is kind of the way of the world on for him. Get well soon. That's all I can say, and hopefully it is not. I mean, it didn't. Hopefully you heal pretty good, and you come back and you're all good, and stay healthy. Hopefully. All right. The last thing we're going to talk about too. RVD. I know. We're going to talk RVD. Just for a little bit here. Now, there was talk apparently that RVD was going to come. There was talk about RVD coming back to do this part of the John Cena farewell tour stuff. Right? Have a match with John Cena. Right? There talks with WB and RVD talked about it. He was on a show. Right? It was coming close for him to come in and do a show, but unfortunately, RVD got injured, and now we're not going to get the John Cena versus RVD stuff, because that would have been really cool. You know? And if you guys don't remember, well, RVD, was he really around? Yes, he kind of was, just especially with the East, especially in ECW One Night Stand that one time. So, unfortunately, we're not getting RVD versus John Cena. Question is, though, still, who's going to retire John Cena? I mean, are we going to get Randy again? Is it still going to be, is it why I think Roman Reigns? Will it be Cody one more time, maybe? Will it be Brock? Time will tell. We'll see what happens soon. We're still not that far away. I mean, we're in September right now. We're not that far from it. Hopefully, everything turns out well. Anyway, guys, that's all the show I got for today. Thank you very much. Talk to you guys soon. Make sure you like, share, subscribe down below on YouTube here. If you want to hear the audio versions, follow us on Podbean and Spotify. That's where we are there too. Right? Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to DA Wrestling on X. Really good time there. I like to post some stuff. That's where you find also a lot about our new videos. Right? Have a good one, guys. Be well. By the way, NFL season's already started. If you missed it, well, you missed some pretty good games. Unless you're a Cowboy fan. Anyway, have a good one, guys.